Ben Prater, get off my land!
Come on, Rich, hurry up. Got a job to do. Stop faffing around.
Look at you. I can't believe it. I've got you dressed in your own wellies this time, Ben. You're not borrowing mine. And I got your boiler suit on.
Yeah, cheers to the boiler suit. A lovely green one.
Darren, the rental's not too high on that. I won't charge you too much.
Hey, the good news is that we've got our own Facebook page now, so you can put all these photos and
That's
your
the
wonderful
point.
photos with your cheap camera.
I'll get a picture of you in your boiler suit, milking the cows in a minute.
I fit in now, don't I?
You do. Go on, give us a bit of war.
War.
Oh, you are a proper farmer.
Rich
now.
Cornock, get off my land. Hey, it's going well. People are
good.
mentioning it in the same breath as small talk. You know,
Really?
they're saying they're enjoying this feature more,
that's nice.
more than most others on the radio. To be
Really?
honest. Get
Excellent.
rid of the news, just more farming.
More
they say.
farming.
Up in Titherington, centre of the universe.
Is it? I tell you what, it's nice to have the Bristol people as part of the farming community now, isn't it? We're all linking up together.
You just got to get a signal so you can actually listen to the
I know.
feature.
I know.
What's wrong with your car now then?
I reckon I need to get a new car. I need to get a Rolls Royce like yours.
You can't afford that. You've got another babby on the way.
I know.
So there they are then. What a glorious morning.
Beautiful, isn't it? I tell you what time do you normally, when you used to do the breakfast show, what time do you used to get up for that?
About 4:45.
Ooh, crikey, we don't get up that early
No,
here.
I know.
Milking starts about 6 here.
Lightweights. Where's your brother then?
He's in the parlour actually. We're going to see him in a minute. He's on duty for milking this morning, and you can see he's got through most of the cows now. There's about 15 left there. I think one of them's got your name on it, Ben. One of those we're going to pick out for you to have a go at milking.
Number 34 looks nice.
You like that one, do you?
They're quite tall, aren't they?
They are. They're British Friesians, those, and the black and white. But most of the black and white ones you see are called Friesian Holsteins. These are a little bit shorter than the ones that generally a lot of the dairy herds are, and they don't produce quite as much milk as the sort of more intensive Holstein. But they're a nicer sort of cow for our sort of system because they're sort of not intensive, if you like.
So have you got my milking stall sorted?
You really have been watching too much of Emmerdale Farm. Milking
It's not like that anymore.
Come on, give us another R. Oh, that's it. No milking stalls. We got a little parlour here. It's called an abreast parlour. It milks 6 cows at a time. In a lot of the more modern parlours now are herringbone, or you can get rotary parlours, or even a robotic one. But
I saw one of those in America.
Oh yeah, probably Adam Henson on Countryfile was doing a big thing about the big dairy units. I mean, as you know, we're a small dairy farm, 80 cows, and we milk them twice a day, in the morning and afternoon. And I'm going to get you to do a little bit in the morning.
Oh, the feel of latex.
Hey, well, you've got to have your gloves on, Ben.
Health and safety.
Hygiene.
Hygiene
That's
paramount.
Right. Hygiene for you as well. You don't want you going home holding your hands up to your wife and she goes, "Go away, Ben, you smell a cow muck."
It's a lovely mix of sort of, modern and old. It's stainless steel tubs here and there,
Yeah.
whatever you call them, and proper sort of beams and old stonework. It's a
That's
lovely
right.
little place.
Well, it's an old barn that was adapted into the milking parlour, and you can see, like I said, the main bit is the where they're milking. 6 cows being milked there with the glass jars holding the milk, and they walk in. They all know their place. They all come in their own order as well. If some of the cows, they don't like coming in till the end. So if you try and get them in before that, they won't come in. They'll sit.
Are you winding me up
No,
now?
straight up.
I know I'm a bit gullible sometimes.
Straight up, I can probably tell you now, if you went out there, there'd be number 46 somewhere out in that yard, and she won't come in till the end.
So it's rather like the
You try
footballers when they
getting
go out
in.
their changing room. They all like their own order,
Well,
yeah?
do you remember when you go to classrooms and stuff, kids always have their own desk, don't they? They always
Yeah.
end up going back to the desk they like. Well, it's the same with the cows. They won't come in till they want to. And if you try and chase them in through that gate, they'll, no, we're not coming in.
Are they clever creatures then?
And, yeah, and I'll tell you what, we've got a few clever ones now how to let themselves out here as well. You can see the gates where they stand, that sort of metal bar sticking out. When we want to let them go when they finish milking, we lift that and open it and they go out. Some of them actually have learned how to do it with their heads, and then when they get bored, they push the bar up and they go, right, we're off. And another one, the worst one of them knows how to let the cake down, which is what we feed them, little pellets. And it can push its head into the feeder, push the bar back, and all the cake comes down. But the trouble is, they don't know how to switch it off. So if you leave them to do that and you're not looking, you can get about a ton of cake on the floor.
Here we go, look, one's just
There we go. Look,
come
see,
on
they know
in.
where they're going, don't they?
That's
They're-
incredible.
Come in, up the step, ready for milking.
He's looking around at your dad now, saying, come on, get a move
Yeah,
on.
well, they know. You see, it's quite nice. They come in and have a bit of feed while they're in here. Well, Dad's in the way now.
Look at those, they're full, aren't they, those udders?
Yeah, I mean they've been out all night eating the grass. They come in, and the thing is, what's funny, when the clocks change and stuff, if you're late or whatever because they've gone, I always get it wrong, forwards or backwards. Backwards, isn't it, where you get an extra hour in bed.
Yeah.
But they don't know the clocks have gone backwards, so they're waiting at the gate for you. And they're like, if they had a watch, they'd be looking at it going, come on, what time do you call this? You're an hour late, I've been waiting for you.
How long have I got, by the way, when they lift their tail until anything happens?
About 10 seconds to run out of the way,
Okay,
otherwise
fair
your head would be a bit brown. Right, put the unit on. Can you hear that? Stick your finger in there, Ben. Go on. No, seriously.
Yeah?
Stick your finger in there.
Oh, blimey.
Can you feel that?
Rich,
Suction?
got a problem.
Here's a problem, I've just sucked up the end of the cord. Oh. It's under your gloves being sucked up.
Oh, no.
Oh dear.
He's going to bill
And
me
that's
now,
just
isn't he?
broken now as well. Have you got none of those? Let's just snap the plastic on there. Cut this, Ben.
This is access all areas farming.
Well,
here.
okay.
I can't mislead the listeners.
Let's tell them
you
what
broke
happened
one of
then.
your tubes, didn't you?
I did break
You
one of my
forgot that I had
tubes.
my latex gloves
Yeah,
on.
sucked it into the unit. You can hear it clicking away there. Anyway, I've fixed it now.
But you
So-
said that's what you got to do as a farm. You can't just go down to B&Q and get another
Well, that's
part.
it.
can
I mean,
you?
the whole thing about farming is there's 101 different jobs on the farm. It's not just one thing, whether you're plumbing or electrics or building or milking cows, driving tractors. So you end up being a kind of jack of all trades, really. And it's always a case of you're under pressure to get the job done. So you're trying to fix things. You end up being quite good at DIY, put it that way.
So that's not a bodge job. That's fully repaired now,
Quality
Rich, is it?
working bit of kit now. But
Okay.
put your finger in there now, but without your glove on. Come on, have a go.
There you go. Oh,
Can you
blimey.
feel the suction on that?
Blimey.
There you
Can I
go.
take that home to hoover the house? Mine's gone kaput.
There you go. So that's going to go on the cow's teat now, and we're going to suck the milk out. Ready? 87 here. And you'll be able to see it coming out. Those little glass sight jars, you'll be able to see the milk coming down. She'll let that down now. Can you see that?
There it comes. There's no delay, is there?
No, and they're quite happy. I mean, you can see they're all quite placid studio. They don't mind being milked. They have a bit of cow cake, and then they go out in the field. I mean, pretty good. I always say this to you, but it's a pretty good life being a cow. Because, I mean, how long are they in here for? They're in here for 5 minutes. They're in the yard probably half an hour or so, maybe a bit longer. Then out to the field for another 8 or 9 hours or whatever. Can't be
You
bad.
come back as one then, Rich, would you?
Oh, I
another
don't know.
line?
I'd come back as a Hugh Hefner, I think.
Do you mean Moo Hefner?
Oh, God, these jokes are terrible.
You've got to get a wriggle on. She knows Ben Prater's about to milk her and it's coming out already.
Obviously, she's either very worried or she's very excited to be a BBC milked cow.
It's the first time a Z-list celebrity's been in this milking parlour.
Right, we'll give her a bit more cake. Right, you stand back there then, Ben. Right, what I'm going to tell you to do. The first thing you've got to let her know you're there. So
Yeah.
don't just come up and put your hand on her like that.
Right.
Okay, now go into the side here. Now you're going to put your shoulder. I'll hold the mic.
You're on the mic now, right?
Right, you put your shoulder into her a bit there.
Into
That's
there?
it, yeah. Well, we've got to get you the unit to hold, haven't we? Put your hand underneath and just feel her teats. Can you find the placement? Use your left hand. Just run it around. Don't squeeze them. Just
They're
feel
really
the,
warm, aren't they?
feel the placement of them. Can you feel all four? There's one sort of.
The other two.
One's hiding behind the other at the
You got
back.
two.
No, don't put your head down there, Ben, because we might get kicked in.
1, 2.
You've got to do it by feel rather than look.
Yeah.
There's 2 at the front, 2 at the back. That's it. You
Yeah, I
found
felt them.
Right, okay, now that's where your unit's going to go. You'll put your right hand underneath it. That's
Yeah.
it, holding it like that. That's it, perfect. Right, I'm switching it on now. Now,
Sorry, girl.
she's doing quite well, really. Put your shoulder into her.
There you go.
That's it, bend down a little bit more.
She's
perhaps.
thinking, what is
Now,
happening?
you've got to try and get that unit onto those 4 teats evenly.
It's like the Krypton factor.
It is. Now, they've got to go in correspondence to the placement of the
All right,
teats.
so that one's over there.
Far one on the little one there. Hang on, no, let's put it on that one there.
Oh, that one there.
There we go.
Right. This one on the back there.
How are we doing? That's on, yeah. Front one.
Uh,
This is like a health and safety video gone wrong, yeah?
where's my not? Oh no, Rich.
You lose your
They've
section.
all come off, mate.
Let's have a flop over
I'm
there.
all tangled. Get in there, let the pro have a go.
Should we have a go? Hold that second. Got milk on me.
There's milk on my mic.
Right, milk on your mic. Look, what you got to do, you see, if you start doing that, lifting them up like that, you lose your suction. So what you got to do is keep one on the quarter there. So I'm doing it without looking, look. I get the feel of it.
Oh, supreme. Supreme.
Anyway, let's have a you stood by the cow. I'll take a picture of the one you half milk. Half milk's better than none milk. What I didn't tell you, Ben, is that all these cows have got names. We don't just have numbers on their backs. My dad's named them all. So we're going to have a look on their board now. What number? Mainly number 25. Is.
Well,
I don't think we got a Sally. There we go. Damson, that is.
Damson.
Damson.
Tell me about Damson.
Well, unfortunately, she's going to be going to the beef burger factory. Because
Today?
No, not today, but in the future, because she's down as barren. I mean, she's not in calf. You can see all these dates there. She's been served 4 or 5 times. She's not got in calf, and because of that, we're going to have to send her off at the end of her lactation when she's finished the milking. She'll go off. To be honest, what happens is they get to a certain point in their life where they just get too old to really have calves and stuff, and so there's a point where you don't keep them because there's no retirement home for cows. So sorry, mate, that cow that you just milked is not going to be here in a year's time.
Where will she be a burger?
Well, where do you want to go and get your burgers? I don't know. I mean, to be honest, I say burgers, but I mean, what she'll do, she'll go to the abattoir and then they'll salt her and then they'll pick out the cuts of meat from her. Some bits will be burgers, some bits might even end up stewing steak and stuff. But she's a dairy cow, not a beef animal, so you won't get the same quality of beef off her as you would from, a Aberdeen Angus or something like that. So she's more like to be processing meat. I mean, it sounds sad talking about them like that, doesn't it? But
I can't believe you are, to be quite honest. Within earshot.
I'll tell you what, though,
within
Ben.
earshot.
Tell you what, though, Ben. If you want to take her home in her old age and keep her in your back garden as a retirement home, your kids might like it, but there could be a few issues.
Oh, look out!
Could be a few issues, couldn't there?
Oh, bye, Damson. He's thoroughly depressed me now. That's the hard side of life.
Oh, well, let's go and see the good side of life then. Let's go and see their replacements.
So from one end of life with Damson, back in the milking shed. God bless her. To these two.
Well, that was Damson number 9 because of all the process through the families on the farm. All the generations of cows. So these could be Damson number 10. I don't think Dad's named them yet. But these are a couple of young calves here. And they're
a circle of life.
It is a
circle of life. I need Elton John underneath the bottom of this, don't I?
You do. Segue into that. Well, the thing is that's the thing about a farm is that all life's here, life and death. If you like, there is a circle of life. These are the calves that will be reared on. These will be in the milking parlour in probably about 3 years' time. There are calves that were born. These are only about 3 weeks old, and they've come in.
3 weeks.
Yeah, they're not old. They come off the cow. We take them off the cow at about 2 weeks old. A lot of more intensive farms might take them off the cows at 1 or 2 days old.
Are they sisters then?
No, not sisters, but they are. They grew up together. You see their tag numbers, number 710 and 79. They're in here. They're still having milk. So my brother or my dad or someone will bring a bucket of milk over for them in a bit. See, they're waiting for it. They know it's feed time.
And just like Archie, you're trying to get them onto solids, aren't you?
That's
onto
right.
Their cake.
Well, they got their little calf pellets here. They're smaller than the cow pellets. If you look at that, the cow pellets are a bit chunkier.
And it's like all bran.
It is like all bran. That's very true, actually. I don't think it tastes. I don't like all bran either. I bet this doesn't taste any better than that. But they'll have that, and once you kind of get a swap over, they reduce the amount of milk they're having, but they increase the amount of solids they have. And then once they're there, then they move up to the other shed, and there's a bunch of 4 up there. Eventually, then they go out in the fields, and then long cyclists, they'll end up back in the milking parlour.
When we go on about how lucky or unlucky we are when we're born, where we are in the world, which countries, which families, they've landed on all 4 hooves, haven't they? They're all right.
I hope so.
Hey?
I mean,
there's worse places to live than here.
I tell you what, the whole thing is though, it's like any livestock. If you don't look after them, they're not going to perform for you. So, you've got to make sure you treat them right, really, and that's what we try and do. I mean, the thing is, we're a very small farm. We've got not many animals to look after, so we can kind of care about each one individually, if you like, and that's what it's all about. But we're saying Damson's going to go off to the abattoir, but before she's gone there, we've made sure she's had a blooming good life, And that's the whole point of it. We're not in it for just making money. It's about looking after the animals, but looking after the land and everything,
What else are we going to do this week?
Well,
Ben Prater.
Get off my land!
Is there a fence to move as well?
Let's go and do some work. I'll tell you what we'll do though. I'll just show you. We're going to see what the drought's done to us.
So Angwin's leaving us. He doesn't care about us anymore, all the listeners, all the viewers. He's off to Qatar, where, they've not had that much rain ever.
Ka-ching, ka-ching.
Well, I wouldn't like to comment. You are worried now, aren't you, about this drought?
Well, I
are
tell
we
you
calling
what,
it now? Are we calling it a drought? Definitely.
Well, from a farming point of view, it is okay. And well, we started in April thinking, oh, well, there's not much rain, and you sort of think, oh, it's not too bad. You know, another week on, it'll be all right. And then they see a forecast, a bit of Richard Angwin say, oh, a few showers coming. You think, oh, that's good. And then they miss us and everything. And then we're now at, what is it, end of May, and suddenly we really are getting a bit of a problem. And you can see this here, because you're looking at that and think, oh, that's all right. That's all the silage we made.
We are in a huge
May.
silage shed.
Now, you remember we came back here in the winter and the cows were feeding off here, weren't we?
Yeah.
And this is our winter feed, okay? Now, that looks quite a lot in there, doesn't it? But if I tell you that realistically, that end of the bay there should be where we're stood.
So you're about, I don't know, 10 metres short of where you should be.
And the whole point of that is that the grass didn't get growing in April because it didn't have the rain. And because of that, we mowed the grass a couple of weeks ago, and we got this crop here, but it's not enough. So we're going to have to try and get some more grass in here for the winter cows. It's a bit of a worry because the thing is, if the drought carries on like this, then the fields are going to start scorching up, and we're just not going to get the grass because this is very important to us. This is the whole winter feed, and if we don't get enough of that, no milk, we're going to have to buy in stuff. It's going to be very expensive. So it is a bit of a worry, really. And we're going to have a look in a minute in the fields. We're going to move a fence where the cows are going to be feeding today, but I'll take you to a field where they're going to be going to in about a week's time, and the grass really hasn't recovered from when they grazed it last time, and it's kind of that sort of thing is a worry, really. But also in the orchard where the trees are, I've had 3 more die because I've been watering them since April now, and you don't normally water them in April. You know, normally it's bucketing with rain, isn't it?
No, I take no pleasure in knowing that I'm not the only.
You're not the only one now
to lose their tree.
Yeah, I know.
My thoughts go to the other families.
Let me just show you my new watering can. You haven't seen a watering can.
Is this one you've made?
No, it's one I've acquired.
Look at that.
Look at that. It's 1,000 litres in there.
It's like a hot tub. You get jacuzzi in that,
1,000 litres. Do you know where this came from?
The 7?
Wall's Ice Cream.
Oh, right.
Yeah. Well, it's through a friend of mine. He lives in Gloucester, and he brought this down for me. You know, all these companies, they get things like concentrated juices and things like that. Well, Wall's Ice Cream get their concentrated juices in that container that holds 1,000 litres, and after they finish with them, they get rid of them. So this is good for me because that's a way of watering. Look at this.
I went to the Walls factory once.
Did you? Oh,
a school trip.
Free ice cream?
Yeah, we did. Twisters that had gone wrong.
Twisters that had gone. How twisty is
green and pink bits that had gone wrong?
How twisty is the twister that's gone wrong?
We were high on that coach coming home, I tell you.
Look at this. Look how high tech this is. A bit of drain pipe. Mind your feet there, Ben. I don't want you to get too wet. Wash the cow muck off your wellies. There you go. Look, see, there's the tree down that end. How about that for watering cow? Isn't it? It's good, isn't it?
That is brilliant.
Because
Don't waste it, mine.
I was doing it.
Don't waste it.
I was doing it with 20-litre watering plastic containers, but I had to keep lifting them up and it's just doing my back in. And then this guy came out. He said, "You can have this for free."
So that's on the back of your tractor.
On the tractor, I drive around the orchard and I just water each tree. But you know, realistically, normally you wouldn't be watering them, but because it's been so dry, we've had to do it.
So we're in the orchard where my tree succumbed.
There it is, over there.
Oh, dearie me.
I still haven't given up on it, Ben. I still think we've got a bit of summer. It might shoot out. It's still a bit
Sal's
of green
sort of
on it.
really choked up by it, to be honest.
Oh.
Why me? You know, that's a pity. Why us? But the good news, Sal, is that other families have succumbed
Good news
as well.
for her, Sal, not good news to the other families.
I sounded a little bit too jolly there, but you know
good
what
news.
I mean.
Some other
It's
trees
human
have died.
nature.
It costed me 14 quid each, Ben. It's not good news when they die. I've got one cherry tree over there that's looking very sick, and there's an apple there, and there's another couple of apples where they've definitely died back. But I'm hoping that they might recover.
Look at that thing.
Well, I know that one's
huge.
going like a triffid, isn't it? Some of them have really got going. I don't know what it is. Some of them had better root systems, I think, and they've really got going. Other ones are sort of just holding their own. But it's just all down to that awful April we had. You know, the driest April on record. I couldn't believe it.
It's a lovely breeze in this. You realise how protected your farmyard is, don't you?
Yeah, it's nice actually out here, though, isn't it?
Now, I can't quite believe what you just told me, and that's why I've switched the microphone back on, because how big's this orchard?
Well, it's a couple of acres. I think it's not massive.
You're going to put this fence up to divide it into 2.
Yeah. Well, what we do is every day the cattle have a fresh piece of grass, and we do this thing called strip grazing. What we do is we put an electric fence down the middle of the field or down a section of the field, and and they have the section of grass that they're allocated. Then we move that fence forward another, I don't know, 30 metres or whatever, depending on the size of the field, and they have another fresh piece of grass. Because if you just let the cows into the field and said, there you go,
It's like kids in a sweet
they
shop.
would just go in and they gorge it all.
Gobstoppers
And
left.
there'd be nothing left, come 5 days later, it'd be all crikey. And also, they would run all over it and trample a lot of it and mess on it and everything. Whereas if you control what they're having, it's better for them, it's better for us, really.
But you said that half today and that half tomorrow. They will
Yeah.
eat all that
They're
grass
hungry
in a
beasts.
day.
Well, you see how big they are. They weigh 600 kilograms each. They've got to maintain that body condition, and they've also got to produce milk. 80 of them, that's quite a lot of feed, isn't it? So, yeah, I mean, this grass, what is it, about 6 inches high, I suppose?
Long, yeah.
But I was saying earlier, if this was for sheep, it'd be too long, because depending on the animal, they want different lengths of grass. And the cows have got, big mouths, and when we let them in and we watch them, they'll rasp at it with their mouths. They'll just rip it up. So we'll put this fence up now, Ben. I'm going to get you to do a bit more work. Hey, no rest. You want to earn your
breakfast is cooking, is it?
No, I'm cooking that when I get in. You're earning your breakfast here, mate, aren't you?
Right, I
You
don't want
come
to.
in for a picnic, didn't you?
Now, how's the health and safety work on this?
No
eh?
health and safety. It's only a car battery. It's not going to zap them. Well, I'll show you. We'll put the fence up. It's an electric fence, and the whole point of electric fence is you're not electrocuting cows. Don't let your listeners think I'm here zapping cows.
You're barbecuing them.
Yeah, it's got a little bit of a current through it, and if you want, you can test it with.
Oh, no, I don't like doing that.
Hey, come on!
I don't like doing.
Let's
My
have a
dad
game
called
of
me out
da-
on that a few years
Game
back.
of dare. Grab hold of that.
I really
electric
don't like
fence.
that. It makes me all go.
Put your hairstyle on, Ben.
Easy.
Well, that's right.
I've got a few hairs on my arms.
That's what happened. Anyway, it gives them a tickle, and the thing is, they don't do it twice. If they touch that fence, they're cows. They've got a memory. They remember that, and they just know they respect it, if you like.
It's like the cat that I squirted with the water gun's not come back and pooped on my deck since.
Well, there you go, isn't it?
Forget all your chemicals and
exactly.
everything. Give them a bit of a
Do you know
bolt out
what?
of the blue.
Sad story. We got a bird box in my garden at home. Some lovely little blue tit chicks. I could hear them every morning in there, and I saw this ginger tom on top of it. And then I went out there the day later, and it managed to yank the top of the bird box off, and all the blooming tits were all chewed up and dead on the floor. I was gutted, and I saw the blooming ginger tom going off with the bird in its mouth. And do you know what? Okay, people like cats, but I wish they put little bells on them and stuff to frighten the birds away, because
Yeah.
I find it sad that sort of thing happens. Anyway, that's beside the point.
Cats aren't high in my
haven't got a lot.
reputational
I like a dog.
world at the moment.
Right, anyway, enough of
Do you get any
this.
jays around here? I saw a
Oh
jay.
yeah,
there.
jays.
They're
There are some
beautiful.
jays, and they're actually killers as well, aren't they? I think they eat chicks and things like that.
Don't tell me that. I like their little blue bits on their wings.
And I tell you the other thing about Orchard and the other orchard, you get a lot of woodpeckers and things like that. Yeah, do you know what? It's interesting. I was listening back to this show on your radio station, and the one thing I picked up is how many birds I hear when we're walking and talking in the country. And being here all the time, you kind of tune out to it because you kind of hear it all the time, and then you think, oh, sounds quite nice there, doesn't it?
Any
You know?
red kites?
Haven't got any of those yet, but I'd like to see them. Got
Good,
got
wouldn't it?
barn owls.
Oh, it's a ladybird.
You know, well
There you go. I told you I'm in tune with the countryside.
done. How many spots?
One,
There's a few on there.
2, 3, 4, 5, I think.
I tell
What
you
do the
that's-
spots mean?
No idea. Got chicken pox.
I always think you've got some story, and half the time you don't know, do you?
No, I don't know what
You
I'm
just
talking
get by,
about.
don't you,
I've
Rich?
only been here 6 weeks. I'm a YTS student.
Where's the real
I
farmer?
tell you what, though, I've been out here, and even though this orchard's only, we planted it in November, there's already a load of bugs and things coming on the trees. Did you see that picture I put on Facebook? It was a brimstone moth caterpillar.
Is that what it was?
Yeah.
I didn't know if it's just a bit of
It looked like a
knobbly,
twig, didn't
gnarly
it?
twig, yeah.
I came out here, I couldn't believe it, because the thing is, these trees are only tiny, aren't they? They're not very big. I didn't expect to see much wildlife on them, and I looked at this thing and I thought, God, that's a twig, isn't it? And then I had a head and legs, not many head and legs on the twig. And
Which moth was it, did you say?
brimstone moth.
Brimstone moth.
Yeah, we looked it up actually in a book because I wasn't quite sure what it was. But I mean, that just shows what the whole point of this orchard is about. It's not just about the fruit trees and everything. It's about the fact that things like that, sort of that tree,
Attracted to
well,
it,
that
they
tree
wanna-
wasn't there 6 months ago.
Yeah.
So there's no way that could have been there 6 months ago. So that makes me feel good because you sort of think, well, I am actually doing some good with this, you know.
Enjoyed the article in the NFU magazine, by the way.
Yeah, that's a bit embarrassing, really, wasn't it?
It was about 2 or 3 page spread, wasn't it?
Yeah, I know. It's saying inspiration in Gloucestershire or something. I thought they got the wrong bloke there. Then.
Saying about your passion of hedgerows.
Yeah, I like a bit of hedging and looking after
Hedge
my hedgerow.
anorak.
I know. God dear, I sound like some right yokel when I listen back on this radio thing, talking about hedges and everything.
Tell you what, this is absolutely sublime now, isn't it? The sun's well and truly
It's a bit
coming
different
up.
from your studio, isn't it? Where you
Oh.
sit there with no window,
Imagine doing it out here every day.
live from the orchard. It's
I'd be in such a
raining.
good mood though. All the guests that need a good old grilling wouldn't get one, you know? I'd be
Yeah.
in too good a mood.
Well, especially when we get the cider out.
Oh, can you imagine?
I know.
Bear with me, council. I'm just pouring another. 7.2 this one, Richard tells me.
I know. I had some cider the other night. Actually, it's strong stuff, isn't it?
Yeah. I don't like it when it's completely
You don't want it too scrumpy-ish, do you?
oh no, when it's like almost savoury.
Yeah. Oh, the wire's getting a bit twisted. Look at that. It's fraying a bit
You
there.
got some stingers here, Rich.
I know. Don't worry. The cows will eat round those. They don't mind them.
They eat them, do they?
Well, they'll eat round them. They won't eat them. We aren't donkeys for that. They'll eat all those.
You can make beer out of nettles. Old Hugh Fernie
Tell you
Whitting
what,
stall.
that would be another one.
Nettle ale. We could do that, can we?
Try that. I tell you what.
You've got grand plans.
I've got a few grand plans. I'm trying to work and do some stuff here, but I think we'll have a go at making some cheese one day, Ben. How about that?
Love it.
Don't know
With
what we'd call
your
it.
mum or your grand's cheese
Well,
mould?
we might use that. It looks a bit rusty, but we could certainly get a mould. And
It'll add to the flavour.
Will it?
We're not selling it, so
We're not, we're
it
not.
kills us. It kills us. Doesn't it?
that's, I don't want to die from cheese poisoning. Right, I'm just putting my steaks down. So Ben, hold that.
Right.
Them falling apart.
I'm doing some work here, listeners.
It is a first. Ben Prater's doing some work.
I am
Right, I've
holding the steaks.
Tension on the wire now, look. There we go. Not too tight because I've got a bit of move it with the steaks. You alright with that?
Yeah.
Here we go. Okay.
Where'd you go for all your bits and bobs? I mean, they've seen a few
Few summers.
summers, but have you
Well,
got a sort of local
There's I mean,
ironmongers and handyman?
well,
and that sort
I mean, it's like any industry, isn't it? When you're in it, you know where to go to get it. I mean, there's plenty of suppliers for farming equipment. I dare say, I mean, I wouldn't know where to go and get a mic for recording for the radio, but I bet the BBC have regular suppliers and stuff.
I watched The Apprentice last night. Did
Oh,
you
that's
watch
good,
that?
isn't it? That is good.
One of the teams they were trying to buy for the Savoy Hotel, and so
Oh,
they
yeah.
just phoned another hotel and said, "Can we have your
where-
suppliers list, please?"
Well,
And funny enough, they told them. Well, exactly.
Yeah.
Where do they get these people from,
Oh,
Rich?
crikey. I stayed
Hey?
in the Savoy. I stayed there with my wife on one of these lastminute.com things, actually.
I bet that still cost you a few bob, didn't it?
Well, it was before it had been done up, because it's been done
It's
up.
shut
now,
for
hasn't it?
3 years,
Yeah.
yeah.
To be honest, it did need it. I think, you know, you go on these lastminute.com deals, they don't always give you the best room, do they?
Did you have tea at 3 o'clock or whatever?
No. Nice big bed, though.
So no cows have been harmed in the making of this fence, but they will be maybe if they step too close.
Well,
What's going to be running through them?
it's not 10,000 volts.
Oh,
It's-
good.
It's a car battery, so it'll give them a bit of a zap. But the thing is, they won't touch it because they know that what it does. They might have got zapped once when they were younger, and then they learn. But if you didn't put this in here, they just go straight through that fence. Right, what we're doing here is we just connect it up, turn it on. Is it working? I can't hear any clicking. I reckon I've got a flat battery.
Oh, you're kidding me, aren't you, Cornock?
It's not working. The only way to test it, Ben, is if you just put your hands on the fence and see whether it's going to give you a zap. Seriously, that's not working. I'm going to have to get a new battery. I don't know.
It's just as well you can mend stuff because you've got a lot of faulty kit, Rich, today, haven't you? What, your
I tell
broken
you know what it's
udder
like,
pumps
though,
and
the
stuff.
more kit you have, the more you got stuff broken. It's like around anyone's house, isn't it? The more stuff you've got, there's always something broken, isn't there? This isn't broken. This is just flat. So
Why don't you charge it up?
Well, that's what we're going to do. And get another battery now. Come with me then, Ben. Let's go and get another battery.
So take two.
Take two.
Quite frankly, there's not going to be a take three, Rich. You know,
Well,
so
we've
you
got
better
another
get
battery if this
better
one
get
doesn't
this
work.
one right.
If this one doesn't work, we get another battery. It's rechargeable. We use car batteries because we can recharge them. Because this electric fence does take normal batteries, but the things are quite expensive. So, anyway, let's see if this works now. Oh, it's working. It's shorting out. Let me see where that's shorting. Ah, it's on the floor. That's why we haven't put it on the wire yet. You heard it clicking, though, didn't you? There we go. So, do you want to hold on to that,
Is
Ben?
it really working? You
Yes.
better just.
I know that's working. I'm not touching it. It's on high output. It's put on low output. It's clicking away. We're going to get the cows in here now. We're going to give them a call.
Are you sure that's not going to turn some of your cows,
You watch. You're
including the
coming
lovely damson, into a T-bone steak?
here. Microwave them or fry them here. No, it'll be fine. We're going to call them up now. I'm going to see how good you are at calling cows now, Ben. You got your lungs ready?
Oh, I know. You know, I'm a bit work shy, but I've had my lungs tested, Rich, and I've got the lungs of a 20-year-old.
Have you?
The he-
You got a body of a
I've got
50-year-old.
the body of a
haven't you?
50-year-old, the hairline of an 80-year-old, but I've got the lungs, officially, according to NHS, of a 20-year-old.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Crikey.
They stuck me on some
Even though
machine.
you smoke all those fags,
I know,
you're looking
80 a
all right,
day.
isn't it, eh? Right, give
they
them
know
a call.
you're
then.
here?
Go on, let's see how you call some cows. Let's see how you do it.
Well, I'm guessing it's not come on cows, so I bet you do something like, hey-o!
That's not bad. Not bad. There was a few of them turn around. Give it a few more goes.
Or, hey-o!
All right, oh, there we go. Come on in. Hop, 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 hop. Come on in. Come on. Come on in. Hop, hop, hop. Come on.
Look at that. It's like that butter
Come on.
advert. They're all going to be dancing in a minute.
Come on in. See, they're all getting up ready. Look, they're thinking, we know what that's about. Come on in. Come on. Come on. Now, the question is, will they realise that they're going in here? Because the thing is, they're all going the wrong way, look. Because they've been going down the lower fields for the last week.
This way. It's a change of scene.
Come on. Because the thing is, because you came here, you see, we delayed doing the fence, but normally we do it a bit earlier and then we just let them straight in here. But they're all thinking they're going the other way, I think. Come on. Come on in. There's one coming this way. Come on. Come on in.
Is this the leader
Come on.
then? Will they all follow her?
Hopefully they'll all follow her, yeah. Come on. See, they know where they're going now, though, don't they?
That's
Come on.
it. Come on, girl.
Isn't that great, though, isn't it? You know, they know a command and sort of like, it's tee up. Sort of, it's a bit like shouting for your kids. You know when your kids are in the garden and
Oh.
you shout out, tee up.
Those cows have come quicker than
Look at
Charlie
that.
comes down the stairs.
Come on, let's go stand in here and watch them come in.
They're not watching Hannah Montana though, are they, you know? They've not got the distractions of a 5-year-old.
They don't play the Xbox or anything.
Exactly.
Like that. Here we go, look.
They're watching their movies. Here they come.
Straight in.
Well, they've got a trot on now, Richard, haven't they?
Yeah, fresh grass. Look, see, straight head down. Look at that,
Oh,
walking and
look.
eating. Look.
It's like Aintree. So they feel all lovely now then. They've been milked.
They're all milked and they're just coming in for like their breakfast, really. The main thing on the farm, okay, is the breakfast for the farmer comes second to the cows and the calves. You've got to make sure they've all had their breakfast before you have your own.
Well, yeah.
You must be building up an appetite
I was
now.
about to say your breakfast is
nearly
like
done.
at 1 in the afternoon or
Wow,
something,
what
is it?
time is it?
On my city clock, 4 minutes to 9. Is that the
Well,
same on the farm?
Breakfast on the farm is 9 o'clock.
Is it?
It is.
What?
It is 9 o'clock. That's what time we have breakfast.
On this farm?
Yeah.
Or generally
on this
farmers?
Farm.
Okay.
Yeah. Because the thing is, I bet you have breakfast before you go to work, don't you?
Mm.
But I come to work, do the milking and the feeding, and then have breakfast afterwards. Because you know you got to get. I don't feel like eating anything at 7 or 6 o'clock in the morning. But they're all in here. Look at them all. They're all in here now, munching away. But before we have breakfast, I've got a couple more things to show you, and then we can get in, and I'll get you a fry up. All right?
3 sausages. You've heard the little
3
trailer, haven't you?
I don't reckon you'll eat these 3 because they're big boys.
Hey, and
And
they're
I got
award-winning, aren't they?
bacon,
Some
or-
local award-winning butcher.
Southwest Sausage Maker of the Year.
And
he
he's
was.
agreed maybe to make us our own Ben Prater Get Off My Land sausage.
Yeah, how about that then? We're going to get, if you can sort it out, Ben, get your listeners to come up with a recipe for a sausage, not just the base, you know, all the
It's got to have a
ingredients.
twist, doesn't
It's got to have
it?
a twist, you know, pork and something that represents Bristol and the countryside, perhaps, you know. Get your thinking caps on. The winner of the competition, because the butcher's going to pick out the one he thinks is the most suitable, he's going to make those sausages.
We can get them up.
You can get them up.
They
We're
can
going
do
to
the
go to
skins.
we can go to his butcher shop and he'll make the sausages in front of our eyes. How about that?
It's a winner.
How many other radio stations have got their own sausages?
None.
None. The BBC Radio Bristol Get Off My Land sausage. I love it.
Hey, your ideas don't stop, do they?
Well, we'll have a little go at stuff. I think.
Forget the butchers. Let's talk about the butchers.
Oh, nice bit of rhyme in
It's
there.
almost as good as that joke in the cowshed that I've already forgotten.
What is it about? Who?
Moo Hefner.
Moo Hefner. That's. Oh dear.
So, where are we going now before
Well,
we
we're
finally get some grub?
Gonna go and look at the fields that where the cows are going to in the next week, and basically because of the drought, there's no grass. We'll dig a little hole. I'll show you how dry it is.
But this over here.
Over here, there's a pond we restored earlier in the year, and a couple of willow trees there I've dealt with on doing some pollarding on them. And yeah, a friend of mine, his dad is a butcher man, and you wouldn't know what that is, but he's the last butcher maker in this side of the Severn. And these butchers were used to catch salmon in the Severn over the years, and they made these conical shaped butchers out of willow, and put them in the Severn. The salmon would swim into them, and then they'd catch them. But that's kind of died out with the farm salmon being so cheap now and stuff.
But
And
they still do them.
and they're in their 80s now, these two guys, and they still make these butchers. And I'm going to get them to come out later in the year, and we'll make a butcher out of that willow over there. But
Will we then go and try and get a salmon?
I think that'd be a bit optimistic. I tell you what, we'll go down to the supermarket and get one. How about that?
From Scotland.
Yeah, but you know we were talking about that container where I was doing the watering from Walls.
From Walls Ice
Well,
Cream.
the whole
yeah.
thing about farmers is they're pretty good at recycling. And if you just look down at what you stood on, what do you make of that?
Gravel.
Yeah, do you know what that was 4 months ago?
Um,
That was the road that ran along the side of this field. This is the
Have you been
planings.
stealing
No,
aggregate from
don't
South Gloucestershire
steal.
Council?
I did a good deal with them. They parked their lorries on our field over the night.
Oh, did they?
And so I got this in free. But this is they call it planings, and when they're resurfacing a road, you quite often see a big sort of grinding thing and a chute taking it off into lorries. And we got quite a few lorry loads put down here, and it's a nice track for the cows. Look at that. Might find a bit of tarmac with a white stripe on it still.
It's like the M5.
It is, isn't it? It's the M5 for cows, isn't
a little
it?
service
It's the new
station for
5, isn't it? God, how many rubbish jokes can we put in this segment? Anyway, let's get on. We've got to have that breakfast before
I
midday,
know.
haven't we?
So we've got a bit of a sausage and bacon coming up, have we?
We've got sausage and bacon, we've got local free-range eggs.
Oh.
Got some proper bread from the bakers.
Oh.
And I've got some milk for you to try. And I'm going to get you to taste the difference between milk from the supermarket that's been pasteurised and homogenised, and straight
One straight out of your tub.
straight out of the tank.
Maybe even from Damson, who I
Well, that's
fell
right.
miserably to milk today.
Yeah, but she's given you a drop for your glass of milk to go with your breakfast. So yeah, we'll have a proper farmhouse breakfast. What it's all about, isn't it?
Proper feed.
Yeah.
We're just going through a gate. I did my duty and asked you if I needed to close
Very
it, but it's
good.
all right.
Country code and all that.
Now, you keep saying we're just a small farm, so I just think of you as, maybe a couple of small fields. So you've brought us through to this field, which is called what?
This is called Collier's Lease. They've all got names, these fields.
And I thought it ended some sort of 1,000 metres down that way, but then you say as far as the eye can see.
Well, it's not quite.
You've got
off the-
half of South Gloucestershire.
No, if
Cornell.
you see that pylon over there, that's the edge of the field of a farm, and then you go to that other pylon just past there. Can you see the few cars coming up?
Yeah.
That's the last field we got on the farm. So, I mean, it's 140 acres. In farming terms, that's pretty small. But I guess in comparison with, say, your garden or, something like that, it's massive. It's all relative, isn't it? I tell you how the best way to describe this farm, if you want to understand the concept of scale, if you take, for example, a supermarket and you looked at Cribbs Causeway down there, Asda down there, that would be your kind of massive estate farm, if you like, because that's huge down there, isn't it? And then if you take, say, more of a normal supermarket that you go to generally, that's probably a medium-sized farm, okay? And then you've got a farm like this, which is more or less not quite your corner shop, but it's your kind of Tesco Express, if you like, in size terms. That's kind of like convenience store, but it's not a big supermarket, is it? And that's what sort of farm we are, if you like. I hate to link ourselves to Tesco's in that way, but we're a Tesco's Express size farm. We're kind of big enough to have a kind of, a decent size, but we're not massive. But we're not corner shop, which is what your kind of small holding
But
is.
you don't mark everything up to a ridiculous price like some express stores.
That's right. We try.
Going for a bit of poppadoms, or you've forgotten your mustard.
Yeah, before
It's
you know
three
it.
times as dear as
I
a
know.
big supermarket.
But there you go. That kind of links in quite well because the costs are a lot more. And the same sort of principle with this farm, in the fact because we're smaller, we can't have economy of scale. Our costs are more than a big farm, and that's why all these sort of farms are getting bigger and bigger, and the herds are getting bigger and bigger because it's all about cost base, isn't it? And that's why a big supermarket can do things 2 for 1 and all those deals because turnover, isn't it?
And that's why people are fearful we'll just have one farm in the UK.
Well, let's hope that never happens because people like me won't exist, will we?
Do we know the figures? How many there used to be and how many there are now in terms of farms? That's a bit of
I don't know
research
about
for you for
farms.
next week.
I know that dairy farming, there's a significant number have gone by the wayside. I mean, I haven't got the exact figures and I'd hate to be quoted on it, but say there was 23,000 dairy farms 10 years ago, there's probably about 12,000 now. Because of the price of milk hasn't really gone up and, it's harder with the small farms to keep going and a lot of these farms have gone by the wayside, really. Let's put my spade in. If you look out here, this field is...
I like this field.
Come in here.
It's got a lovely little gradient down to the
Well,
bottom.
Coming in here, the cows will be in here in about 3 days' time. Now, it's not as much grass as the last field we've been in, is it?
No.
Now, this just hadn't got going since the last time they've been in here because they grazed it about a month ago and they come back. We do it in a sort of cycle. And if you look in the ground, here we go. I've got my spade and look how dry that is.
Deary me.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, dearie me. Now that normally...
I thought my geraniums were a bit dry.
Yeah, look at that. It's like going to powder, isn't it? And really there's not enough moisture in the soil to keep the grass from growing, So what it does, it sort of goes into holding pattern, just stabilises. And if any of your listeners have got lawns, and I expect they haven't mowed them very much in the last month, because it's just not
Well, this
growing.
is good for me because I am grassless. I don't have a lawn.
Yeah.
warm weather for me is, to be honest, is quite a nice. I would like it to be a long hot summer. You know, with the
Sit out
kids.
on your decking with your
You
ice
can
cream.
sit out there, maybe with a beer. You know, it's been done before. You want to take the children out and have a lovely summer, but on the flip side,
That's right. I mean,
people who rely on the ground.
well, that's right. You know, and I'm just about old enough to remember the summer of '76 when these fields went completely brown and all the grass died, and I just hope we don't end up with that, because you know, I'm not going to get any milk out of the cows because they haven't got any grass to eat. We're going to have problems getting winter feed, and also I'm going to be watering those apple trees till kingdom come and hoping they survive. You know.
You'd be all old and wrinkly. You look about 80. Your hair will fall out as well.
It's good roots in mine, Ben. It's all that cow muck I've rubbed into it.
Your
Kept
dad's
it
got a
going.
lovely head of hair. You're all right.
You haven't checked
Well, no,
it.
actually,
It's all comb over, isn't
your
it?
brother actually, he's
He's follically challenged, isn't
he's
he?
looking a little bit handsome and
He'd say
chromed
it's
down
stress
like
of
me.
working with me.
He does all the work, doesn't he?
Well,
While
he
you're
is
banging
this
on the
morning.
microphone.
It's my weekend off this weekend. I shouldn't be here.
Yeah, it's very nice
That's
too.
two of us, though, isn't it?
Yeah,
You
exactly.
Giving up your morning.
Well, it's commitment, Rich.
It is.
If we want
that's
this
it.
feature to continue at the same high standard,
High
you know?
standard. Well, it couldn't get much higher, could it? I mean, we're cream of the crop, aren't we? Cream of the milk you'll have in a minute.
Now, you're not going to make us walk the whole way up to Bluebell Wood, are you? Hey, a friend went out at the weekend, actually, to see the bluebells, and he texted back saying, they're all
Oh,
dead.
Too late, mate.
Yeah.
Yeah, they don't last
I said,
long. 2
you've not
weeks.
been listening to Ben Pratt,
You
Get Off
have.
My Land. He said, you've only got a 2-week window.
Yeah, and they're gone. But you know, last time we came in, we talked about that style up there.
Yeah?
Me and my dad actually rebuilt part of
I
it.
saw the pictures.
Yeah, because it was getting very wobbly, so we've rebuilt it. We won't go there now, but we put a little name on there to match the guy from 1939. We put on there R&W Cornott, April 2011. Someone can look at that.
You've forgotten what year it was then, hadn't you?
Well, I was thinking. You know, it's like every day blurs into one after a while.
So, these rows weren't here, were they?
Oh,
A
look
few
at
weeks
this.
ago?
Remember when we walked up here, you had a job walking on here, didn't you?
Oh.
You were in your stilettos. It was a problem walking,
Oh,
really, wasn't it, Ben?
oh.
But I mean, remember it was ploughed up and very rough, wasn't it? Well, since then it's been worked down. It's quite a smooth little seed bed here. But you can see that the little maize seeds are just coming up now. And look at perfect rows. But you come back here by October, it'll be over your head. You won't be
And
able to see
remind
that.
us what you use this maize for?
This will be part of the feed for the winter. It'll be mixed in with some rape meal, and it's like a protein kind of level food for the cattle. Keep them sort of going through the winter, really. So they'll harvest the whole crop. It'll all go in chopped up, and that'll be fed to the cows along with the silage. So as long as we get a bit of rain, it might get going. I mean, it's not looking too bad at the moment, is it? But it's quite funny if you think about it. I don't know whether your listeners think, oh, how can I relate to a farmer? But in many ways, we're just big gardeners. You know, if someone's got an allotment or a garden, it's no different from them to us, really, in the fact that they need rain for their sweet peas or their potatoes or whatever. We need rain for the maize. You get problems with weeds the same as they do. You get problems with pests as well. And we're just on a different scale, you know.
Do you have to wait 5.5 years to have a farm like you do an allotment?
5.5 years? Well,
The waiting list in Bristol's horrendous.
is it?
Although someone phoned up the other day and said I could have hers in Westbury.
Right.
I think that's against BBC
Are you looking
rules.
for an allotment then, are you?
Well, maybe not at the moment because I've got.
Ben Prater, get off my allotment.
Well, it's maybe a little,
there we go.
spin
can
off,
move
isn't
on,
it?
yeah.
It's a spin off. But I'm just trying to grow my 8-month-old before I grow any
Yeah,
vegetables. But it'll
well,
be nice.
It's time, isn't it? I know friends
It's
of
like
mine
you get all these invitations now, don't you, to do all these different
get a few invites.
committees and meetings.
Yeah,
and that?
you know, it's like life, though, and that you've got to try and balance everything, and that you can be running around ragged and then not see your kids. That's no good, is it?
You don't want to spread your muck too thin, do you, Rich?
Well, we're going to get you spreading some muck one day, Ben.
Not today, we're not. We're going to have
No, let's go and get some
some
breakfast.
flaming breakfast.
Yeah,
Tell
you must
what.
be hungry, aren't you?
Oh, I don't normally. See, this is it. A farmer gets out, does all his jobs, then eats breakfast. I'm straight up with the Weetabix.
I tell you what, as well, Ben. This isn't like one of your media breakfasts where you have a skinny latte and a Marlboro Light, and you sit at your desk. This is a proper farmer breakfast as well.
Oh, finally, the squeak of the chair. I didn't think we were ever going to get here, Rich, if I'm honest. I thought it was all a cruel hoax.
Oh, you got to earn your breakfast on the farm, Ben. There's no kind of just coming in here and eating and going home, is there?
Can't do smell radio at the moment, can we? But trust me, it smells divine, and you can hear the sizzling.
We got the bacon and the sausages on. We've got the eggs waiting. We've got some fresh bread.
Because you belong in another of your posts.
One of my many hats.
To a food fest.
I do actually. Do you know what's really interesting? I'm in this food festival called Taste, and it's connected with South Gloucestershire Council. I'll tell you more about it in September, but there is a 2-week festival in September where members of the public can go to local food producers and actually see them how they make things and do stuff. And I do a tour, actually, a part of it. Come around the farm and have a look. I tell people what we do and show them around.
So you're not just there to eat it.
You're not there just to eat it. You're there to feel it. Feel the land.
I tell you what, a big thick slice of bacon,
Well,
slabs of bacon.
We got proper breakfast here. I haven't got anything from a supermarket here, apart from some cheap eggs to show you the comparison in between cheap eggs and the free range ones. But what I've got Hobbs House bread from Chipping Salisbury, proper farmhouse loaf there. You can try a bit of that. I've got a Mike Perry's from Alston's sausages. We've got Perry's porkers, and we've got his home cured bacon, which he all makes himself. Then we've got free range eggs from Oldbury, Andy Gazzard. And we've got some milk here for you to try from the farm.
Now, we've obviously been milking today. I've not let this little baby out of the bag, but I don't actually like milk on its own.
No.
Well, but I am going to have a little sip.
Yeah.
Because, that's what you've got to do as a journalist.
Well, this is it.
If Gordon Ramsay can go to the Philippines and eat those duck eggs with embryos,
you
then
got the
I
rubbish.
can drink a bit of milk, can't I?
You've got the poor gig, though, haven't you? He goes to the Philippines, you come to Titherington.
Tell you what, it's less traffic up here.
Well, what we've got here, we've got some supermarket whole milk, okay, which has been pasteurised and homogenised, so you can keep that in your fridge for a week and the cream won't settle. Whereas our farm milk, you put the jug in the fridge and it'll settle a layer of cream. So we're going to try. I'm going to get you the taste difference. You might not like whole milk, but you can certainly at least appreciate the difference in taste between the pasteurised, homogenised, and unpasteurised straight out of the farm. Here we go.
Okay.
Which one's that?
Well, I think I'm going to go for that's the shop.
Right. Okay. Is there a difference?
That's far creamier.
Yeah.
More rounded. It's like a good wine.
It is.
I can smell your
You
grass in that
smell
one.
cows in there.
I can smell that field we've just been in.
Let's have a taste myself, actually. Oh, I can taste it straight away on that one. That's the shop one, isn't it?
Yeah.
Because it's a completely different taste. Yeah. You can. Oh, crikey! I haven't
that
done
is
that.
nice.
Do you know what? I haven't done that myself
Since
before.
you were 5.
Yeah. And the difference is that's so much creamier, isn't it?
And we were saying earlier on, and I know it's important to eat, a healthy diet these days more than ever, but we've got hung up on fat in this country. It's our personal belief. And I think there's a few studies now proving, type 2 diabetes is because of our fascination with low fat, high carbs. But milk
4%.
isn't fatty anyway. I've got friends who say, "Oh, I drink skim milk to save, save a few pounds, as in weight pounds." But 4% is the guideline. Anything 4% and under
Whole milk
isn't
4%,
fatty.
and then you're getting, I don't know, skim milk's less than 2%, isn't it? But I mean, realistically, the fat content of milk is quite small compared with when people go out. They go, right, I'll have some skim milk, and then they go, right. Oh, by the way, I'll have a large Big Mac or whatever. I'll have some fries. Oh, and that cake looks nice.
Yeah. So while the bacon and the sausages are sizzling, don't forget, listeners, we're going to get you to design our own Ben Prater at Get Off My Land sausage, aren't we?
I love it, yeah.
With the help of your man, Mr. Perry.
Don't let me down, Bristol. I want to see a Get Off My Land sausage on our plate.
Lovely.
How about that?
I think we're going to ask you for 2 key ingredients. Pork will be the basis of it.
2
we
or
don't want
3,
any kind of sort of wild venison or
No, we just have pork and something else. Give us a
ostrich
bit
or
of,
anything
give us
like
a bit
that.
of Town Meats Country and a
Oh
bit
yeah,
of
Town Meats Country.
How about that?
The Town Meats Country sausage.
No
right.
cat in it from your patio.
What are these marked with? It's like you've been painting them.
Well, these are the free-range eggs, okay? And this is quite interesting. We're going to do a little bit of a comparison here. We've got free-range eggs from Oldbury-on-Severn, Andy Gazzard, okay? And then we've got a supermarket egg, value egg. Now, they're about half the price. They're a bit smaller. But I'm going to just do a little comparison. I'm going to break the eggs in there. A bit titchy, aren't they, these value ones?
I've never seen a smaller egg.
I know. Right, let's cut them, whack them open, see what we've got. Okay, here's your value egg. Looks a bit pale and pasty, doesn't it? And let's have a look at the free range one. Well, it's a bit more orange, not a massive colour difference, but...
No, it's a bit brighter, but the size of it as
let's
well.
whack another one in there. What I like to think is you've got to give a chicken a chance, haven't you? Okay, not everyone can afford free range eggs. To be honest, they are more money than normal eggs. But I think if you can afford a few extra pence when you're shopping, I don't like to think of a chicken in a cage. Give it a chance to walk around a bit.
So I would like to stare at your eggs, but the sausages are
well,
taking my eye.
Once these eggs are done, we've got those Perry's porkers. Look at
Oh,
them. Look at those.
look at that.
I tell you what, Ben, I heard on your little trailer you were playing, you said you wanted 3 sausages. Are you sure about that?
I won't eat for a week.
They're quite big, aren't they? You can tell their quality. If you get some, I had some supermarket sausages the other week. I think half the pound was fat.
They're like my forearm
Yeah,
sausages,
aren't they?
aren't they?
Hey?
Hey? It's interesting, you're saying it's half the price, and that's the thing. I reckon we're going to have this more now, aren't they? People having to evaluate what's important to them.
Yeah.
'Cause it's all well and good saying I want all my chickens to be running around and talking to each other and whatever else, but actually, people have got limited budgets.
You got to have a balance, definitely. I mean, the thing is, you can't afford to eat everything, the best you can get. But I think, especially if you've got young kids. I mean, I've got a young boy and I've got another kid on the way. You're going to cut your cost, to what you can afford, really. But maybe if you just do one thing a week and you say, right, I'm going to have some sausages from the butcher or some free-range eggs, just to have something a bit better and maybe give an animal like a chicken a bit of a better life,
Well, there was no way I was going to record while I was scoffing, Rich, because it was absolutely delightful. Very, very nice too. And what's all this? A sort of parting gift?
Parting gift. Well, Ben, you've almost become a farmer now. I got you going ooh-ah. I got you milking a cow and helping with the fencing, and you've had a farmhouse breakfast. So I always think, you almost look like a farmer, but you need someone to finish it off. So here we go, mate. Your very own farmer's cap.
Oh, mate,
there you go.
Awesome.
And I don't know your head size, but
my head size is unfeasibly large.
Is it?
So
well, we might not fit.
It
We might have to put on the nipper then.
Put it on.
So
hold that a second.
See if you can fit that on.
Oh, dearie me.
Is it? Oh, crikey! How big's your head? It fits mine, all right. It's a snug fit. I think
there
we might have
balance it on the top.
Oh dear, what do you look like?
Hey, I want to be a bit scary though to keep all these people off my land, don't I?
Get off my land.
Rich Cornock, get off my land.
Ben Prater, get off my land.
You're looking well, by the way.
Well, thank you ever so much. Not a hair on my head,
I just
Rolf.
made that up. Not a hair on your head.
34 and completely bald as a coot. I'd make a good caricature or a good painting for you.
Seriously?
Yeah, I know. Some
Wow.
guys have all the luck. You're still looking all right, aren't you?
Yeah, I've still got a bit of hair.
My neighbour in Bristol came up to the door this morning to give me 2 courgettes that he had spare. He said, who are you interviewing today? And I said, Rolf Harris. He said, ask him his views on Banksy and Damien Hirst. So that's where I'm going to start, Rolf.
I think he's absolutely marvellous, and I wish I was there to assist him in what he does. I can't imagine how he gets it done so quickly and so secretly and gets away from the scene. But he must do it with some sort of a stencil that he's cut and made. And if that's the case, I've got to say he's an absolute master at what he does, because those stencils create the most amazing artwork. There's one in the gallery where I'm talking to you now. Just get round and have a look at it, and it's a picture of a fella with spiky hair and wings in a black overcoat, and he's got little angel wings on, and he's got the Union Jack T-shirt on under the overcoat and great black heavy boots, and he's looking very, very gloomy. But what a great piece of artwork it is. You wish you'd done it,
Yeah, no, I could imagine. Now listen, so James, my neighbour, one fan, another big fan of yours, Rolf, is a guy called Rich Cornock. He's a regular on our programme. He's a farmer from South Gloucestershire who tells us townies what it's like to live on the land. And I was talking about silage, I think, the other day, and all of a sudden I mentioned, rather more excitedly, that I was going to be speaking to you, and this was his reaction, just listening to this. What a lovely morning it is anyway this Saturday, and you said, well, you should look over that field there, and lovely sunrise.
Sunrise come in the morning, isn't that?
Sunrise. And yeah, we've got Rolf on the show.
Wow.
This week, not
He
only
is
have we
a
got
star.
Rich Cornock all week, but we've got Rolf Harris
I
as
tell you,
well.
been out Rich Cornock. Rolf Harris, he's one of my heroes, he is.
What shall I ask him for you then, Rich?
Yeah, well, ask him how long his didgeridoo is.
I've heard reports.
Hey, do you know what? I've got his autograph, actually, and I've got a little signed Rolfaroo. Do you know what a Rolfaroo is?
No, I don't. Tell you what Rolf
Well, he'll get him to
is.
draw you one when he comes in for your kids. It's a little Rolf Harris with a kangaroo tail. It's a Rolfaroo. God, blimey, Ben, I know more about Rolf Harris than you do.
He's gonna think I've done loads of
I'll
research
tell you
on
what,
him.
the other thing as well, I've been to an art exhibition of his, actually. His paintings are amazing.
Well, I think that's
Up
half
in
the reason he's
London.
coming on. I think you wanted to speak to me.
Yeah,
anyway,
obviously.
But he's opening up a new gallery, or his paintings are being shown in a gallery in Bath.
Well, really?
Yeah.
I went to
We
London.
should go down and have a look.
Oh, I'd love to. I tell you, I went out to London. This is a few years back, and there was an art exhibition in the gallery up there, and I didn't know a lot about Rolf Harris pictures. I went in there, and I thought, oh, they'd be 500 quid each. 40 grand. 40 grand. But these pictures, I mean, they're brilliant. They're absolutely amazing, because you kind of grew up. I grew up in the time when he used to have the programmes on the TV, and he used to do all these kind of big splashy pictures on the wall and
Look at the
everything.
good Rolf action
Yeah.
there, aren't you, Rich?
But these pictures, I'm a fantastic guy. I think he's just great.
He's in awe of you, Rolf.
Well, that's magic, isn't it? He's dealt with everything that you'd want to say.
I know. Interview
very
over.
Good. Yeah.
But I mean, he's right. You've been prolific, and speaking to everybody, they want to know: is it the music? Is it the art? I mean, how do you keep going?
I'm still doing recordings now and again. I've just been working on one at the moment, which is it's all under wraps at the moment. But the main area that I'm working on is on paintings. I'm up every morning about 5:30, 5:45, and I'm painting up in the studio by about 6 o'clock. Paint till about 10 and get some breakfast. But then I'm painting every day towards an exhibition in the Clarendon Gallery in Dover Street in the West End. That should be in October and will be involving a new art book which we're putting together right now. But I'm also still doing the music, so I'm on at the Wickham Festival in Hampshire on August the 7th, doing a live gig there, and possibly I'll be doing this new song that I've just recorded, so who knows.
Why does everyone love Rolf Harris? I mean, go on, tell me that behind closed doors you're the crabbiest person on earth. Everyone I speak to,
No,
you cheer them up.
I'm very, very happy-go-lucky, happy sort of a bloke. I walk around with a smile on my face, whatever I'm doing. I like people. That's the best thing. I just love meeting people, and I love singing and like to do songs for people from their part of the world. You know, if you're up in Geordie land and do something like one Sunday morning, Lumpton went a fishing in the weir. He catched a fish upon his hook. He thought looked pretty queer. But what a kind of fish it was, young Lambton couldn't tell. He wasn't fashed to carry it him, so he hoyed it down the well. Oh, lads, how'd you gobs? I'll tell you all an awful story. Yeah.
Super,
Or up in Scotland, you do a Scottish song or wherever. I don't know what the songs are like from your area.
Well, I mean, the Wurzels obviously get quite a bit of airplay, you know.
Oh, I do know one. It goes, there was an old farmer, had an old sow, out, idly-dow, Susanna's a funny cool man, and idly-dan, Susanna's a funny cool man. Yeah, so it goes on.
Oh, Rolf, listen, you know what local radio's like? We're desperately always trying to get a local hook on someone like an international superstar like Rolf Harris. And one is you've got these paintings being displayed in Bath, and we'll come to that in a second. But the other is, I've done my research, no matter what Rich Cornock the farmer says, your daughter went to Bristol Polytechnic.
That's right. She had a marvellous time there and enjoyed it enormously, and she graduated from there with an incredible exhibition, which my wife and I went to see. We were so overwhelmed by it. Finished up in tears, both of us, by the work that she'd done. And she's now a practicing artist, working away and exhibiting herself in her own right.
And she's done well. I mean, it must be incredibly hard when you've got parents like you.
Yeah, she finds it very difficult. So she uses her married name. So she is known as Bindi Nichols. And if she turns up called Bindi Harris, then everybody just wants her to talk about me, which is really upsetting for her when she's got her own artwork that she's fantastic at, you know, and doing some great things. But to have people harking back to your father all the time must drive people mad. You can understand how how sons and daughters of famous Hollywood stars get into trouble because they feel they have no life of their own. They're only judged as the sons or daughters of this famous film star, you know. And it's a hard old road to follow, really.
Rolf, it's all right for me because my dad's an electrician and I can't change a plug, so...
Yeah, he'd be great to paint, he would, yeah. The Queen was lovely to paint, I must say. She was just delightful. She put everybody at ease, and we were finished up chatting away like dear old friends from centuries, you know. It was great.
You didn't get a royal wedding invite, though, Rolf? Were you in at the back there? Did I not miss you?
We watched it on the widescreen and thought it was great. I thought it was wonderful, yeah, especially when they came out in something borrowed, something blue in that little car. Wow.
Yeah, it was
very good.
It is tremendous. Listen,
didn't they look good? I mean, they look wonderful. I wrote some Timey Kangaroo Down verses for the wedding because I did some television out to Australia commenting on it. And there was one special verse that I wrote, which I'm really proud of. It goes, didn't a sister look trim, Jim? Didn't a sister look trim? Mind you, she'd have been wasted on him, Jim. Didn't a sister look slim? Altogether now, Tommy Kangaroo. Yeah.
Oh, mate, listen, while we're on the music, let me just play you this second chunk. You listen to Rich here, your number one fan.
I mean, I'll play all this to him and get his view on it, and if he's got a spare afternoon, I'll get him to come up and do a caricature of you.
Oh,
Imagine that.
Imagine that. That'd be awesome, that would, wouldn't it? Eh?
Big shock.
He's just a brilliant guy, though. I love all his Jag the Peg, of course. Have you got some of his songs on?
Well, we can have, yeah.
I'll tell you what, do you know, this is all things that you just remember as a kid. My auntie used to have, she's in her 60s now, she had a record collection from the 60s and little singles, and we as kids we used to play them. And there was a song on there called My Winkle's Just Been Pinched, and that was Rolf Harris. My Winkle's Just Been Pinched.
I'll get him to sing it for you.
You probably won't remember that one.
Yeah.
Jag the Peg, what else did he do? Obviously Sunrise. What was it? Did Stairway to Heaven, was it?
Yeah.
And Two Little Boys, wasn't it?
Oh.
Cool, tearjerker one.
Two little boys had two little toys.
Yeah, you got the beard, mate. You just need to get more of the action with the painting.
No chance. What's that winkle picking thing he's on about then, Rolf?
Well, the song was written as a sort of a comeback towards Charlie Drake when he wrote a song called My Boomerang Won't Come Back, which was really slagging off the Australian Aboriginals in very tall order, and he had all the facts about Aboriginals totally wrong in the song. My boomerang won't come back. I don't know whether you remember that. So I wrote this one, which started off, the Cockney tribes in Britain were meeting for the games held annually once a year along the River Thames. The chief was in his teepee, his face all lined with wrinkles, when up the river came a cry, someone's pinched me winkles. Me winkles have been pinched, dooby-dooby, me winkles have been pinched. Some people say it's a load of old nonsense, but a winkle's got a lot of vitamin contents. Never win the race to my... Yeah, so it goes on.
That'll make his day and the listeners as well. You just mentioned the Aborigines there, and it's National Sorry Day, isn't it, in Australia tomorrow?
I didn't know that.
I think... Have they made much progress in reconciliation, Rolf?
I think they have. It's a very strange old road to follow. It's a very difficult track, and I think the problem always was that the ordinary man and woman in the street, when the Aboriginals were declared as being actual Australian citizens, then they became eligible for getting the dole if they were out of work, and what happens is that lots of them finish up just drinking it away. They get the check for the dole, and they have an enormous bender and spend it all, and the kids in the family get nothing for food, and the man in the family finishes up drinking it away. I'm just saying one aspect of of the whole thing, and as you can imagine, the ordinary man and woman in the street who are paying their taxes, and they get very uptight about this. Why are they getting all this money which comes from our taxes? You know what? And there's a great area which is so difficult to define. You don't know where you are. You're treading on eggshells, trying not to offend, trying to do everything that's politically correct, trying to work out a formula for some way to relate to their life and their lifestyle and the way it exists. You know, for so long, the white blokes in the country have been giving handouts to the Aboriginals and giving them food and giving them flour and sugar and tea and this, that and the other, and somehow degrading them in their own eyes, because there's nothing worse than somebody handing you freebies all the time. Your self-esteem goes down the drain, and you know you get to a stage where you couldn't go out and hunt for your own food if you had to, because you've forgotten how to do it, because you've been getting handouts all this time. And so it's a big problem, and this is what the sorry is all about. I think the lost generation of children.
Rolf, listen, it's been an absolute pleasure. I know you've got an Australian TV crew or whatever, wanting to film you. You do not stop.
That's right.
Will you ever stop?
I can't see any point. People say you're going to retire, and to me, retirement is like another word for lying down and dying. I can't see the point. If you enjoy what you do and you're still able to do it, get on and do it.
Listen, you keep going. Now, if you've missed it, this is going.
How many other radio stations got their own sausages?
None.
The BBC Radio Bristol Get Off My Land sausage. I love it.
Yeah, his enthusiasm, Rich Cornock, knows no bounds. Our South Gloucestershire-based farmer. Newhouse Farm, 140 acres if you're interested in that, in the acreage. So now he wants to roll some cheese in the summer, and he also wants to make a BBC Radio Bristol sausage, not for any profit or anything like that. Don't get us wrong, we're not going to be flogging these at farmers markets. It's just for the radio feature, and we want you at home, please, to nominate 2 ingredients that you think would fit in a town meets country sense. All right, we've had apple and lemon thyme from Sue in Weston, which was lovely. The other top shout so far was Uncle Sluggy in Briz, who suggested blueberries to give it a Bristol blue edge. Very nice. Kate got a bit of the wrong end of the stick earlier on. Chris says, Ben, the best way to cook these Ben's Bristol Bangers is for breakfast on an open fire whilst on a scout camp. We'll do the taste test for you. That is a tremendous idea. I'll speak to Rich Cornock. If he's happy to have you and your troop into the orchard, maybe we could have some kind of outside broadcast from there when said sausages are manufactured. Watch this space, Chris. You can keep your recipes coming, by the way, please. A town meets country sausage, okay, for Ben Prater, Get Off My Farm. 81333 is the text number, isn't it?
That's right. Is it a bit of a rat and a bit of a poodle in that sausage?
What kind of sicko are you?
A sick sicko.
A rat and a poodle? These aren't
town meets country.
Oh, okay. These aren't no economy sausages. This is top grade meat.
Be the first to know.
Ben Prater, BBC Radio Bristol.